Hey, it's the Ray Rican, and happy Monday. And today, I got a couple stories I want to touch about. Um, Usually, I'm releasing this video a little earlier than I normally do. Gonna, it's a nice day. I'm gonna take the kids somewhere, so probably take them to a pool or something. But you know, being the parent of a special needs child is a particular story that just annoyed that crap out of me because I'm just like share this one here with you. Make a wish foundation to grant wishes only to terminally ill children who are fully vaccinated. So you're talking about kids, parents of kids who have who are terminally ill, and you think they're worried about a freaking vaccination? That's just dumb. That's just so dumb. That's all I got to say about that. I I just don't. That's it is really dumb. Okay. Speaking of dumb, okay, here's another story I want to talk about. It's twofold. So I'll start off with this part. Bill Maher rips Lin Manuel Miranda for apologizing to the woke mob. This is why people hate Democrats. And I'm just going to play a little bit of the video of what he said, and he's right.
I was reading also about Lin-Manuel Miranda this week. He of Hamilton fame and, won a Pulitzer Prize for it. He's got a new musical, The Heights, which is about Washington Heights. I know that neighborhood. My father parked in it every day of his life, going to New York, coming over from New Jersey, and then taking the subway down to Midtown. And he wrote the music and lyrics. His parents are Puerto Rican, came to this country from Puerto Rico.
I'm just pausing it for a second there, just because of copyright stuff. I don't know what exactly, and I know there's fair use, but just in case, I know I've played him before, but I'm just gonna. That's what I do just to be safe. But here's the gist of what he says is coming up.
The book is by someone who's half Puerto Rican. It got 96% Rotten Tomatoes. People loved it. Great reviews, for which he has apologized profusely. Why? Well, there's Latinx performers, one black lead, but no Afro Latinx.
Could he stop that, please? Please. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I talked about on Friday. That term is just a white woke people term, and he's here. He's about to criticize woke people, but he's using the damn term. Do not give in to the language police. Anyway.
The committee that makes note of everyone's skin tone discovered this, and then Lin-Manuel Miranda had to say, I'm truly sorry. I'm learning from the feedback. I thank you for raising it, and I'm listening. I promise to do better in my future projects. This is what I was talking about with Nikki. Please stop the apologizing.
He's 100% right. People need to stop apologizing to the insanity of the woke mob. Okay. And like I said, we need to stop by using these terms that they're trying to impose onto the language. And especially like the Latino, with Spanish people, we're masculine, feminine. That's it. Deal with it. We don't want Latinx, like Kleenex.
I, who made the founding fathers black and Hispanic. I don't think you have to apologize to Twitter. For fuck's sake. This is why people hate Democrats. It's cringy.
And he's not wrong. This is what's going on. People need to stop apologizing to this. You go, okay, well, here, just to he doesn't, you're talking about, like he said, this is a guy who did Hamilton and turned white characters into black and Hispanics, black and Latinos, however you want to say it, or float your boat. And that's what he did. And he's apologizing for not getting enough Afro Latinos. Meanwhile, there was a bunch of darker skinned characters on the show on the movie. I saw half of it. I gotta This reminds me I gotta go back and watch the other half. But still, you're talking. I mean, he shouldn't have apologized. He should have said, "Vete pat carajo." That's what he should have said. Sorry, for the non-Spanish speaking people, it's just basically go to hell. Go to hell for telling me that I need to apologize for not. Dude, he's increasing. I mean, he's making it popular to be black and Hispanic with his, turning it into like the founding fathers into them. But meanwhile, he has to. This is just nonsense. And he goes here. CNN pundit and former Clinton administration staffer Paul Begala also criticized the woke mob during Friday's show, saying that they need to focus on more pressing issues like income disparities between whites and blacks. Um, those are outrages, and liberals ought to be focused on that, not the casting choices of, I think, a heroic guy who's. This is the whole thing. Even with this that he said here, you know, the income disparities between whites and blacks. You don't change that by keep focusing on color, because you can't pass laws. What you need to do is same thing like what you got to do is, let's say, pass put um negotiations into high school classrooms at maybe senior year, so like that kids learn how to interview for jobs and how to get more money at jobs, because it's happened to me. I mean, I've had, there's times when they offer you a job and they're gonna lowball you. They're gonna lowball you. So rarely does a job give you the best offer that they're gonna give you. The only time they're gonna give you the best offer is if they know you have another offer on the table. That's it. So I mean, I've done it before. I've said, "Oh no," they offered me, they lowballed me. I said, "Look, listen, I got two kids. That's not good enough." And I told them, you're gonna have to come back at me with something better, and they did. The next day, they came back at me with something better, and I took it. But anyways, that's not what this is about. This is about apologizing to the woke mom. And this is so what happened. He's not wrong. So he is absolutely not wrong. Bill Maher is not wrong. Now, this lady's wrong, because here it goes. Because eventually they're going to come for Bill Maher, because you can't attack the cult of wokeism. You just can't, because someone's going to come for you. And it goes here. NBC's cross to Bill Maher. You do not get to tell people of color what they should or should not be offended by. Stay in your lane. And here's what she said. Let's see, is there a video of it? No, okay. It goes here. Bill Maher, you do not get to tell people of color what they should or should not be offended by. Stay in your lane, Slim, Cross stated. Maybe instead of trying to invoke sympathy for Sharon Osbourne or making sure Tommy Lahren has a space to souse her BS, you should have more diverse panels of people who can explain colorism to you and systemic racism and how these things still devastate people. Look, listen, this person, either she drank the Kool-Aid or she's just trying to sell the Kool-Aid so she can make a buck. Either way, it's gross. Okay. Look, I'm a person of color and I'm saying he's not wrong. I make the same critique. He should have never apologized. Okay. I'm from one Puerto Rican to another. Lin Manuel Miranda, you need to, next time this happens, tell them vete pa carajo. Really. You can't tell them you can't apologize to this. Look, you've done great things. I may not agree with you politically, but you've done great things for the Latino community, for Puerto Ricans. You've made our little island proud with what you've done in with musicals in the music world. Don't give in to them, and don't just start buying into what they're telling you. Just do you, please. Do not go. Don't go into that ideology just because the fact that the Twitter mob came for you. Just tell them, like I said, because that's what you have to do. You got to stand up to a bully. You can't capitulate to a bully. Okay. So that's my spiel on that. I'm going to go about some other things I saw that I want to talk about. I want to touch. Um, Here goes. Landmark decision. Sports retailer cannot be sued for sale of guns used in mass shootings. Same way as a car manufacturer can't be sued if a guy decides to drive into a crowd of people and runs over a bunch of people and kills them. Here it goes. The Texas Supreme Court is on a roll. Um, Yesterday, they also there was a decision about Facebook that Facebook can be held liable for sex traffickers who use the social media platform to recruit and prey on children. But it goes here. Today, there is a landmark decision to be heralded from the court. A retail sports chain cannot be held responsible for selling a gun used in a mass shooting. The mass shooting at First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs in 2017 resulted in the deaths of 25 innocent churchgoers and 20 injured. A madman entered the church during Sunday's morning services and opened fire. Those murdered, including a pregnant woman, he turned the gun on himself after that, dying of a self-inflicted gunshot. This horrific event is Texas' deadliest ever mass shooting. The attention turned to the mass shooter, 26-year-old, using a Model 8500 Ruger AR 556, suited with a 30-round magazine. Where is the story about? Anyway, I guess they don't. With a bad with the record, the shooter. With that record, the shooter should not have been in possession of a firearm, right? Survivors and families of the victim filed 4 lawsuits against Academy Sports Outdoors, the retailer who sold the gun to the shooter. The lawsuits accused Academy Sports of negligence for making the sale in the first place. On Friday, the Texas Supreme Court issued a unanimous decision. Academy Sports cannot be held responsible for the actions of the gun holder. It tossed all 4 lawsuits. As it turns out, Academy Sports did all it could to make a responsible sale. It followed the law and performed the background check. It was just that the Air Force dropped the ball. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the case where I don't like that they didn't also mention, um, not mistaken, this is where it says he turned the gun on himself, but first he got stopped by another person with an AR-15. I think this was the one with the NRA guy. Let's see, ability, reactions. No, it goes here. Okay. Let me just double check. Before dying of a self-inflicted wound, it was the deadliest shooting. Kelly was prohibited. Okay, no. Here it goes. Yeah, see, it says here. Okay, so here it goes. Kelly was then confronted by and traded fire with Stephen Williford, a local resident and former NRA instructor who was armed with an AR-15. Williford was taken cover behind a truck across the street from the church and shot Kelly twice, once in the leg and once in the upper torso, under his tactical gear. So even this story here, and this is a conservative publication, forgot to add in there that, because I think you need to put that in there. Someone else with an AR-15 style gun went and defended, basically subdued the guy, because basically shot him twice. Even if he's self-inflicted gunshot wound, he still had 2 shots from a guy who basically stopped him, because from my understanding, I think he was going to go to another church. But why am I talking about this? Because I think this is a big decision, because Biden wants to, the way Biden wants to get around the Second Amendment and get gun control passed, is he wants to make it that gun manufacturers are liable for mass shootings. So with this landmark decision, now let's say even if they try that, they could probably go straight to the Supreme Court, because there's already precedent set in the courts. So yeah, there's that. Anyways, last story of the day before I call it a day. Donald Trump joins YouTube competitor Rumble. which is going to be interesting. Just because the fact that um, since he cannot go on, because as of writing this account, his account only has one video up, which is a placeholder for a live stream of his rally in Ohio today. That okay. So what I say about this is great news for Rumble, because which means what's going to happen, you're going to have a lot of new subscribers. And I post my videos on YouTube and Rumble, because there's one or two videos that I haven't posted on YouTube because know I would get some sort of strike on it. So I just put it straight to Rumble, because why am I going to risk that when I can still get out what I want to say on Rumble? And that's why YouTube, if they keep doing, keep trying to censor people, that's what's going to happen. Now that Rumble is starting live stream, you're going to see people start doing that over there. I don't know how they're going to do super chats or anything like that, but that they do on YouTube. But anyways, so yeah, that's going to make the channel bigger. That's going to make it easier to probably make for content creators to make a little money on Rumble. Disclaimer: I've made a little bit there, not a lot, but hey, something. So I'll take it. It's my first step toward doing. It'd be nice to be able to do this for a living, and just to be able, because it's just I like doing this. It's fun, as much as sometimes it's a pain. Sometimes it's a slow news day, or sometimes you're trying to get people to come on the show, and being a smaller channel, it's harder to get guests to come on. But I try. I'm always putting it out there, asking people, if you're a follower on my channel and you know someone that would come on my show, shoot me an email. Easy to remember, right? Rican at Gmail. Anyway, so I'm gonna leave it there. I'm the Right Rican. Follow me on YouTube and Rumble. You can also follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, and Telegram. The last two are two that I encourage people to use, Telegram and Gab. Gab got parlored before Parlor, and they have an infrastructure set in place that they don't have to worry about being parlored again. They have their own servers, they have their own networks, um, they have their own engineers and all that stuff. So it's a good platform to, if you into free speech, that's the one to go on to. And that's not me getting any money for it. So I'm just saying it just because I use it. All right. So with that being said, have a good one, everyone.